Hi guys, welcome back to Learning English and Literature. Based on demands from my students in Ghana preparing for the English core examinations, I will in this video do a line-by-line analysis of the poem, Lest We Should Be the Last by Kwesi Brew. But before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and let's reach a wider audience. Lest We Should Be the Last by Kwesi Brew. Stanza 1. Lest we should be the last to appear before you. Africa has always been termed a developing continent, especially West Africa. We do not have the latest technologies. In fact, Africa is described as a developing continent. Other nations of the world are developing theirs. If Africa does not develop hers, the world will leave us behind, not just in technology, but also leadership. What the poet is saying here is that other countries of the world are developing fast. If Africa do nothing to develop their own countries, Africa will not just appear last, Africa will become extinct. If you take a good look at these computers, they are old generation computers, and these computers flood our secondary schools today, giving the students the impression that these are the latest technologies. This is so the latest computers that are not even available in Africa. We left our corn in the barn, and unprepared, we followed the winding way to your hurt. We followed the West because other countries joined, not because we were prepared. You see, we even abandoned our own ways. If you look at the words here, we left. It shows that we abandoned, we left our own ways. We did not look inward to harness the resources, human and natural. What the poet is saying here is that we have everything to develop Africa, but because we fail to look inwards, we'll keep depending on the West. Now, look at the phrase here. Say, unprepared, we followed the winding way to your heart. It shows that we don't even understand where we are going or what we are looking for. We just want to follow because others followed. Stanza 2. Our children begged for water from the women bearing golden gourds on their heads. Here, the poet used the word begged, and it shows that you beg when you desperately need something. Okay, now it says, Africa, our children begged for water. The water symbolism here is that it's everywhere. We are begging for what we have. We are begging for what is surplus in the African continent. With the word used here, beg, it shows that Africa has lost her dignity. We begged the West to give us what we need to develop our lands. We lost our dignity. The golden gods are the things we admire in the West. Those things we see and scream, wow. You see, now it says from the women bearing golden gods on their heads. The Europeans, the Western worlds, the developed countries know that they are advanced in technologies and they are flaunting their technologies. They are wearing the golden gowns on their heads for other third developing worlds to see and admire and envy them. In fact, they are proud of their technologies and they are flaunting it. If you take a good look at this underground train, this model is not available in Africa yet. And laughing on their way from the well. Okay, let's take this from the well. The well here is a symbol. The well is where they got the water from. The well here is their factories and their laboratories, their research centers, where they produce or manufacture these technologies. With begging, we lost our dignity. They did not pay attention to us. They mocked us. You see, begging is not a noble thing. And Africa has been termed the begging machine. We always ask the United Nations, the WHO, and even China for help whenever we have any challenge, be it wars or health. They mocked us, flaunting their new technologies. Yes, the golden guns on their heads, they were flaunting it for us to see. And when we came begging, they mocked us. They laughed at us. Of course, you wouldn't blame them because we did not believe in ourselves. We believed in the West. We believed that they have the answers to all our challenges. So we trooped to the West to beg what we could have also produced. So they are mocking us. They are mocking us because we've presented ourselves to them as inferior. This particular phone is being flaunted in Europe and China right now. Africa do not yet have this technology. They will rely on the West to get this technology. So what the poet is saying here is, look, if we keep on asking the West, if we keep on depending on the West for the latest technologies, we will be a laughing stock. So look inward, go back to your people, do not leave your corn in the barn, do not abandon your own ways. Look inward, harness the resources you have, both natural and human. We have them in abundance in Africa. Tap them and realize their full potentials. Yes, Africans were mocked, but they did not stop, knowing that in your presence our hunger will be banished and our thirst assuaged by the flowing milk of your words. We were relentless to learn the skills to make our nation great. African countries always chase after developed countries for their technology. Europe, United States, today it's even China. Not just the technologies, also the leadership skills. Unfortunately, West Africa, or Africa as a whole, has never been blessed with the best of leaders. If we are granted audience by the West, our quest will be fulfilled. You see, Africa believes that the key to the solution of their problems is the West. Our minds have been conditioned to believe that the only solution to Africa's problems lies in the West. Stanza 3. Africa now realized something. Now we have come to you and amazed to find. Amazed here shows that Africans were shocked. African countries now realize that the West will never teach you everything they know. They will be selfish with their skills and knowledge because they do not want you to be a competitor. Africa will be a serious threat to Europe, America, and even China, as we have the enormous resources to be the greatest continent in the world. Now, what I'm saying here is that the West and China and every other developed advanced nations, they will do everything not to teach you everything they know because they are scared of Africa. They know we have the potentials to be the greatest continent in the world, so they will just teach you what you need to know, not what you need to. They will give you fish, they will not teach you how to fish. Because they know that Africa, if they grab this knowledge that they so desire, that they begged for, and they are still begging for, they will become the greatest continent in the world. So what did these guys do? They mocked us. The developed countries you so admire make you feel less human. You see, remember we went there with the begging status. And beggars can only be mocked, not praised. We begged, we presented Africa as a beggar because we did not even believe in ourselves. But the developed countries, they also admire Africa. They know we have the potentials, human and natural, but our leaders have just been blind, to their own natural resources and potentials. The developed countries you so admire make you feel less human and discriminate against you because you have not looked inwards to develop your own continent, but instead you left your corn in the barn. You failed to look inwards to develop your own lands. Instead, you are chasing after us, abandoning your own lifestyle, your own potentials to pursue our own ways of life. That makes Africans worthless before them. We need to look inward and develop our lands to gain the world's respect. No European nation, no advanced nation, not even China, United States, or the United Kingdom would develop Africa more than Africa. The poet is sending a very strong message here. Africa needs to wake up. We need to look inward and invent our own technologies and good leadership style that will best the Western world. If Africa does not develop her own countries and people, the world will not just leave us behind, Africa will become extinct. What Kwesi Brew is saying in this poem is that no country will develop Africa other than Africa. So what we need to do, we need to start looking inward, harnessing our potentials, start inventing technologies so that we will not play catch up, so that we will just move a step from that 10 third world countries to developed countries. We can do it. We just have to believe in ourselves. Thank you very much. And I hope this helps. And I wish you success in your forthcoming English core examinations. Thank you.